Hello and welcome back. Today we are playing some more Minecraft with Create, and today we got some big things planned. We are once again gonna leave this hole that we dug for ourselves because we got some big plans outside. But first we need to find a way out because we no longer have access to that exit that we had in the earlier episodes. But I think I saw some daylight over there. Yep, so scaffolding should be enough. Let's try and see if it works. Yeah, good. So for this world, I want to split my builds into differently themed areas spread around this central place here where we have the mine and the storage and everything. So far in my planning, I'm calling those sectors, but in my brain place, the word sector seems to be referring to areas that are still somehow connected together, like different parts of a whole. But I still like the word sector, so I'll keep using it in this episode. However, if anyone has any suggestions for a synonym that would make a bit more sense, that would be great. Anyway, I'm currently headed towards Sector 1, which will be located in the middle of these icy mountains. Sector 1 will be where we put all of our industrial stuff, like all of the machines and factories, all of that. Sector 2 will be over here, and that's where we will be dealing with villagers as well as crops and food. Sector 3 will be inside this large forest, and that's where we're going to be growing and harvesting our plants and trees. And finally, Sector 4 will be over here, and this is where we will deal with all of our weird supernatural stuff. Like everything concerning the nether or the end, but also brewing, enchanting, and anything else that's a bit unusual. So let's start things off here in Sector 1, since this is where we will be making everything concerning trains, and well, trains are gonna be an intricate part of this whole place. But before we do that, we are gonna need to chop down all of those beautiful cherry trees, because even though they are very pretty, they won't really fit in well with the industrial aesthetic that we're going for in this area. So of course we could just grab our axe and chop them down, but it's super annoying because there's always a bunch of hidden logs and they're super tall and you need to punch all the leaves and it's super complicated and I don't have time to deal with that. But don't worry about that, of course Create's gonna fix everything. All you need is a mechanical saw and a hand crank that you place here, and just like that, it's all gone. It's so fun, it's so good, I love it. So let's tear down that entire forest. Now that we've made this place ugly, let's make it pretty again and build our first factory. And that's a first build done in our industrial area. As you can see, I used a lot of azurine, and I'm gonna keep using a lot of that block because first of all, it's very pretty. But yeah, I want all the other builds in this area to kind of blend in with the cold, frozen looks of all the icy mountains all around. So yeah, azurine I think is the best fit for that. And I also use copper for the windows to add a bit of color, and it might seem a bit out of place right now, but it's all gonna make sense in the future because there's gonna be a bunch of copper pipes all over the place linking different areas. We're just not ready to put them in yet because I'm not dealing with fluids yet, so yeah, in the future it's all gonna make sense, I promise. And we also added these little archways with like bricks inside of them. I saw that on a lot of old industrial buildings, like there was like a big doorway here, but they bricked it off to close it. They changed their mind eventually. I don't know why they did that, but they did, and I think it looks cool, so I did that as well. We did add a little door here to get inside, and there's nothing inside yet, so let's start building some machines. But to power those machines, we're gonna need, well, some power source, and I'm not gonna use water wheels this time. We're gonna use a windmill. I promise we're gonna use steam eventually, we're just not there just yet. Now, for our first actual machine here, we are gonna make something to produce those train tracks we talked about earlier. To make those, we first need stone slabs. For that, we are gonna start with a cobblestone generator, which we can automate with a drill. We can then smelt that cobblestone into stone and then run it into mechanical saw to make slabs. We're also gonna need iron nuggets, so let's build an iron generator. We are again gonna start things off with a cobblestone generator, but instead we're gonna crush the cobblestone into gravel. Then we're gonna wash the gravel, producing flint and the iron nuggets that we need, so we can send those into the other part of the machine and apply them to the stone slabs. We then need to squeeze the finished product with a press, and ta-da, train tracks. That little machine is working splendidly. Look at that, that's how many train tracks we've gathered so far. It is doing great. I did change some stuff, especially around this little barrel that's kind of hidden in the middle of all that stuff here. You didn't see that in that little montage because I ran into a little bit of a problem. The machine's producing a lot more slabs than it is producing iron. So there's a big risk of cobblestone backing up into that barrel here, but I used a little trick. This little thing here, it's called a threshold switch, and it's kind of like a super comparator. It will detect if there is a certain amount of items, and when it does, it's gonna send a redstone signal, so that's just what happened. So it unlocks this funnel here, and it's sending the items that way instead, so the excess cobblestone gets sent that way, and it will shut down when there's no more, when there's not too much cobblestone anymore, basically. And then it's sending it that way and that way. I really wanted to see that. It's just fun to look at it. Actually, let's just pretend I'm cobblestone and you'll see what happens. Whee! Whee! And then we get sent, as cobblestone, we get sent into these crushing wheels and get turned into iron. So yeah, all the excess cobble that we're producing for the slabs gets turned into iron instead, so it's kind of rebalancing everything in a way, so that's great. So let's grab some of those train tracks because we're gonna need them outside, because we're gonna start working on the train network. We won't be doing too much on that, but we're gonna do the train station that we're gonna have for this area. So it's gonna be over here because I want this place to be the entrance of this sector, just because, just look at that view. We're gonna have a view of all the factories and all the buildings we make here. It's gonna be great, so that's like the obvious entryway for this area. So I want to make the train station here. The problem is we're gonna need to have a very long line where we can extend a track, and I think that won't be long enough. But like if we move over there, yeah, I think we're gonna have enough room if we place it like here. So yeah, we just need to landscape this area a little bit, and that should be good enough. We have a long enough straight line for our station. So if we end the straight line here, maybe we can curve it and send it downward. So this part here is we're gonna dig this to fit the needs of the curves of the rail. But let's first take care of that straight line. So if we go over there, how far away can we go? We go here. Again, we're gonna have a curved rail going on that side here, so that seems like it's good enough. So I want to have 3 different wagons. So the first one's the locomotive. I think that the bogies need to be spaced 3 blocks apart in order to look good, and then maybe 5 blocks apart for the second one. So that's gonna be like the carrier, the passenger wagon. I said it earlier. And here, yeah, and that's gonna be like the merchandise one, so it fits in. That's great, that's perfect. We have enough room for that. We can even maybe remove 1 or 2 rails on each side, but that should be fine. So let's go and take a look over that way where we can reach. We're gonna need to add a bit more dirt around here, but if we place it here, like so, is that a nice curve? Gonna need to dig it out. There we go, we've gone full archaeology mode and dug out the rail. My shovel's almost broken and we can remove those bits. We don't need a straight line here. The curve, it looks good. Let's just see what it would be like if we didn't smooth it out, because that's an option that we have. Like, if I just place it like that, we see where the rails are going to be placed. It's gonna make as much straight lines as possible, and like it's gonna just have the smallest curve possible. But if I press Control, it's gonna smooth it out and use the entire length for the curve. So that seems good. What if we wait a second. So the bogey's gonna be here, so we need like a straight line, maybe up to, we could remove 2. If we do that instead, we could put the end here, and yeah, I like that better. Smooth curves are the best when it comes to train tracks, I think. So, cool. I just need to find another shovel to finish that landscaping and do the same thing over on that side. And we now have a complete loop. So the train's gonna arrive from this side here, it's gonna follow that track over there, go around this little valley. There's gonna be a bridge here. The rest of the tracks, I think I'm just gonna raise the ground, but here there's gonna be a bridge. Then it goes up here. It stops here because it's gonna be the station. That's where we exit and unload the train and all of that. And when it's ready to leave, it's gonna go that way, and it's gonna connect with the exit. Well, the entrance, the point that connects with the outside world. You get what I mean. There's still a few little bits that I'm not too sure I like that little bend here in the track. That's weird. I'm gonna need to rework it a bit, but we'll figure something out eventually. Don't worry about that. We're also gonna have a little bridge here, because it's a straight line, so it works well for a bridge. But this bit over there is all gonna get filled in with dirt, so from this pillar to that one, and all underneath these rails here, because it wouldn't work for bridges, basically. It would look weird, and yeah, it's gonna be better like so. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with this big valley here. I was thinking of making a lake in here, but it might not work. There's gonna be over at the end at that side there. It's gonna be something, another rail that's gonna branch off and head into that cliff there. We'll see about that later, but yeah, if you have any ideas for stuff I could build in here, that would be great. Very, very appreciated. But for today, we're gonna finish things off by connecting this track here to the main, or the starter area that where we lived earlier, where we spent all of our time. And we just need to dig a tunnel here, and eventually we're gonna be able to connect our rail with the mine and storage area. So yeah, just need to travel all the way back there because I don't have my drilling machine, and I'm not gonna dig that by hand, of course. And there seems to be a lot of powdered snow. That's fun. Okay, I really like how that place looks, and look at that just over there. That's where we started. That's the little farm where I got blown up by a creeper, if you remember seeing it from episode 2. So yeah, it's really not that far away. It's gonna be quite easy to connect everything together, if I don't die first. And just like that, Sector 1 is now officially connected to the central storage, and I also worked a bit more around here. I did talk about making a station, and I hadn't done anything yet, so yeah, we have a floor now at least. I wanted to record it at first, but then I thought that it would be a better idea to forget to hit record and build the entire thing. So we'll see if that pays out in the end. But yeah, that's the almost finished result. It's not completely done yet. It doesn't have like an official shape or anything. I just worked around the landscape that we had already, because I'm not sure exactly what's gonna go where. There's gonna be some other buildings and all of that. So yeah, I just made that to have an idea of what it's gonna look like, and I'm very happy with that. But now that we have built all that infrastructure, it would be silly to end the video without even building a train, right? Wouldn't it be silly? Yes, it would be very silly. So bye bye, thank you for watching, see you in the next episode.